Hi there, welcome to Aptitude. This is a video about AMCAT, obviously. Now in this video, I'll mainly be focusing on the importance of AMCAT in this day and age of virtual hiring. Now as we all know, most of the selection or unfortunately rejection is happening on the screen these days. So how is AMCAT playing an important role in all this? And we'll mainly be focusing on why should you as a candidate focus on taking AMCAT and take it seriously. So let's get started. Now before the why, let's look at the what. What is AMCAT? Let's see. Now AMCAT is an acronym which stands for Aspiring Minds Computer Adaptive Test. Now I'll get to adaptive test part later. I'll explain what that is. Before that, let's focus on aspiring minds. Now what is aspiring minds or who are aspiring minds? Aspiring Minds is world's largest employability assessment company and it has its foot set on more than 100 countries. More than 100 countries. That's a pretty big number. Now obviously with that big of a number, you have other bigger numbers. So annually there are 4 million plus test takers. There are more than 4 million students and candidates who take the AMCAT tests in a year, in a single year. They have more than 4,000 corporate clients. Now please stick around till the end of the video. I'll give you the list of all those clients. Now obviously I'll not be able to give you all the 4,000 clients, but I'll give you the names of the pretty important ones. So stick around for that. And they give more than 500,000 job matches. Please note that's not 500 plus, that's 500,000 plus job matches. Now as an individual, how many will you get? On an average, close to 10 job matches every month based on your AMCAT scores. Now what is a good AMCAT score and all that? Please stick around. I'll talk about it soon. Now what makes Aspiring Minds or what makes AMCAT so special? Now it's driven by the data science on millions of assessment data points enabling smart job matching and employability feedback. Now what does all these jargons mean? This means that obviously if there are 4 million plus annual test takers, obviously they have a huge plethora of data. And if they have so many companies as partners, obviously they have a lot of data on the other side as well. So they have the data about how the students take tests and they also have a lot of data on what the companies want. So obviously if you have the access to so much of information, using the help of artificial intelligence and using the help of automated engineering, you can develop a very nice automated way of making sure that they match the company's needs with your preferences and your capacity. That is exactly what Aspiring Minds does with the AMCAT tests. They know what the companies want, they know what you can provide based on your AMCAT test results, and they act as a bridge between you two. They help you meet them and they help them meet you. That is what they do. Now let's talk about the adaptive part of this adaptive test. What does that mean? Now an adaptive test is slightly different from the other tests. It basically adapts to your answers. What does that mean? This means that if at all you mark an answer correctly, that means the computer knows that you are a pretty good candidate. So the next question that you get will automatically become slightly tougher than the previous question. That is what happens. Now don't worry about that. The tougher question that you get, it will have a higher weightage of marks. So it's all fair. Now if at all you answer a question wrong right now, then the next question that you will get will be comparatively easier. But obviously the weightage of that question will be less. Now again, if you keep on answering a lot of correct questions, you will get tougher questions, so on and so forth. But if you answer all the wrong questions, wrong answers, then you will end up getting easier questions later on. So that is what an adaptive test means. If you're familiar with GRE and GMAT, they both are adaptive tests. They are used to do your masters abroad. AMCAT is famously known as the GRE test of employability, and it is the only employability test in India which is adaptive in nature. It is the only one. Now the million dollar question, why should I write AMCAT? Now there are mainly two different reasons why you should write AMCAT. The first reason is more visibility or more opportunities. Now first of all, let's talk about visibility. What is more visibility? Let's see. Now one of the first companies the final year students or even the freshers get is my campus visible to every corporate? So all the companies that are out there in the world, do they know my campus? Do they know my university? Do they know my college? Now obviously the answer to that is a big no, because that is not possible. Obviously that is not possible. All right. And the second question that people get is the exact opposite of this. That is every corporate visible to my campus? That is, there are a lot of companies out there in the world. Does my campus or does my placement department have access or have contacts with all those companies? Is that humanly possible? Obviously, no. Now, like I mentioned previously, AMCAT has a plethora of colleges under its kitty. So when you get a good enough AMCAT score, you obviously get access to all those companies in AMCAT or Aspiring Minds database. So it's like a nice backup. You obviously have access to the companies which will come to your college or your campus directly through your placement department. But in addition to that, you will also have access to the plenty of other companies that AMCAT is partnered with. So it's a win-win. You get the companies in the college and then you get the companies through AMCAT as well. Now, do I have sufficient academic scores to be shortlisted for XYZ company? This is one question that a lot of students get, especially those of you who don't have that great of a score in 10th and 12th standard exams. You generally get this question in your mind, am I good enough to be eligible to sit for the placements? Like you are 100% sure, once I get the opportunity, I will nail the interview, I will nail the entire process. But because of your 10th standard and 12th standard scores, many a time colleges restrict those students to attend the placement drives. Now, one good thing about AMCAT is that it does not discriminate according to your 10th and 12th standard or graduation scores for that matter. You will have to enter all that, and obviously there will be companies which will be shortlisting people based on those scores, obviously. But since there are so many companies which are partnered with AMCAT, there are a lot of companies over there which don't actually care about your 10th standard and 12th standard scores. For example, they are partnered with a lot of startups as well. I'll show you the list later. Those startups, they generally don't really care about your 10th and 12th standard scores. They will check your AMCAT scores, how good you are with these specific topics, and after that they will make their judgment based on how you perform in their interview. That is what happens. So ultimately, AMCAT helps you get access to plenty of other companies which you might not have heard of, or even your campus might not have heard of, and it raises the probability of you getting access into those companies. It's all about raising your probability or raising the chances of you getting placed, irrespective of your academic scores. Now, the next main reason for why you should write AMCAT is this: more transparency. Now what happens is, if you are already in the 8th semester or if you have ever gone through the placement round, then you are already familiar with this feeling, or if you are about to get into the placement season, then you will get familiar with this feeling. That feeling is this: you are confused. You have absolutely no idea what is going on and where it is going on. Now, one of the first questions that people get during placements is this: why was I not shortlisted? This can be due to a variety of reasons. Maybe your marks were not enough, or maybe your aptitude scores were not enough, or maybe you did not perform well in the interview. Now the problem is that you don't get a reason. Now you can be angry about that, but then you can think of it with their perspective as well. It's not possible for them to tell each and every student why they did not get selected. It happens, but it's just not humanly possible. So with AMCAT, what happens is that thing is entirely gone. You are able to apply for the jobs which you are already shortlisted for. Their system makes sure that there is no such mishap which is happening. So those kind of discrepancies do not happen through AMCAT. What will be asked in the tests? Now, a lot of times what happens is you know that a company is coming to the campus, but you are not entirely sure about the different topics or the syllabus or the kind of topics that they are looking for. They will tell you the different rounds. Sometimes they don't even tell that. But if at all they tell you the different rounds, they will not tell you the syllabus for the test. That happens a lot of times. Many of you will agree with me over there. Now, with AMCAT, since AMCAT has been around for so long, the syllabus for AMCAT is pretty open. It's there available on the internet. And on top of that, I'll upload another video which will tell you the entire syllabus of AMCAT and where you should prepare from and how you should prepare. So when I upload that video, I'll leave a link in the description below, and I'll also upload this in the I button over here. So do check it out later on. After this, it's almost the same thing, what and how to study. Again, they do not tell you what will be asked in the test and how you have to study and all that, but with AMCAT, since everything is available already and people know about this, there is more clarity. So keep an eye on the I button over there. Now, how is AMCAT assessed? How is AMCAT assessed? So we already saw why it is necessary and why should you write it. Now let's see what all AMCAT needs from you. How are you assessed in the AMCAT test? Now the candidates who write the AMCAT test, they are evaluated based on their language skills first of all. Now this is a no-brainer, obviously. It is the English language. Now we all know English language is the part and parcel of the entire corporate world. You need to be good with your English language. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be decently well with it. Okay, so when it comes to English language abilities, they are mainly looking for your vocabulary skills, your grammar skills, and your reading comprehension skills. Vocabulary in the sense they are looking for how many words are you familiar with, what all words are you familiar with, obviously. Grammar, because you need to know how to construct sentences with those words that you know, and reading comprehension, because obviously you'll have to read a lot in the corporate world. A lot of communication in the corporate world happens with emails, and when you read the emails, they need to know that you will understand all of that. So obviously the English part is very much necessary. The next part that they will evaluate on is logical reasoning ability. This is LR. This is everybody's favorite. Now this is useful in measuring the trainability and the problem solving abilities of the candidates for more complex systems. So obviously the logical reasoning part has a bunch of very simple topics like blood relations, seating arrangements, etc. Now what they are looking for over here is these are a bunch of problems and how well can you solve those problems and reach the final level. That's it. Okay, and if you can do it well, that shows your trainability. Now what is trainability? We all know one thing about corporates, that is after getting placed, after we join over there, they will train you on what all you need to know in order to be a valuable employee over there. Now if you are a person who can be trained and who is willing to learn, obviously it will be easier for them also to teach you. But if you are a person who is not open to learning and who is not trainable, obviously they will not really hire you, because that's of no use. They will train you on things and you won't learn. That makes no sense, right? That's what this is for. Now the next part, this is what most of the people dread, that is the quantitative ability. This is your basic mathematics. It helps in measuring the arithmetic reasoning and analytical skills of quantifiable data. Now a lot of people ask me, why do we need quant? Why do I need to calculate the speed of the train or the speed of the boat? I'm not going to go join the railways, So why do I need this if I'm just going to code or work on machines and stuff? Now that is a pretty valid question. Now please let me answer that question and please listen to me with an open mind. Why is quant necessary in aptitude tests? The thing is, no matter which company you join or which job profile you join, most of the problems that you will face over there will be quantifiable problems. Quantifiable problems in the sense, the problems or information or data which can be depicted in terms of numbers. They will all be based on numbers. Now, when numbers are given to you and problems related numbers is given to you, they want to see how well or how efficiently or how quickly you can solve those problems. That is why they only give you basic mathematics, topics that you have learned from 7th standard to 10th standard, and a few topics from 11th and 12th standard as well. That's it. It's all basic mathematics which you are supposed to know already. The next part is the domain skills. Now in AMCAT, you can also choose a topic to your liking or based on your branch or your specialization. And obviously, if you score well in that, then you will get some company specific calls also. That is what happens. That is what domain skills are for. And last but not the least, the personality. You will have a round over there which will evaluate your personality in the sense what kind of a person are you, what kind of an employee will you be, whether you are a team player or not, whether you are an assertive employee or not, whether you are outgoing or you're a lone wolf, all that. There's no right or wrong answer over there. They will basically evaluate you based on your personality skills, and those behavioral traits will also tell them what kind of job role is more suitable for you based on your personality. So this is how AMCAT assesses you based on your scores. Now the different assessment points. Okay, now this is a very important thing. This is something that you get after you are done with your AMCAT test. What happens after you are done with your AMCAT test? Now, after you are done, after a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you will receive a 21-page long employability report. 21-page long. Not one, not two, not 3 pages of report card. It's a 21-page long descriptive report about your entire test scores. Okay, so let's dig into this. What do these 21 pages have? The first thing that it has is your AMCAT certificate. Now I'll give you more details about your AMCAT certificate in the next slide, so stick around for that. Where is it useful and all that I'll tell you. After that, obviously your AMCAT scores. In different sections, what is your AMCAT score and how close or how far away is it from the national average? Is it on the positive half or is it on the negative half? So on and so forth. They will tell you that where you stand nationally. Module feedback. Now your scores are done. That is the summary of your scores. After that, what they'll do is they'll give you module wise feedback. In the sense, your English comprehension section, they will give you a feedback on that, whether you're good at it, whether you're bad at it, and how much you need to improve, so on and so forth. If you're good at English and you're bad at quant, then they'll ask you to focus more on quant, so on and so forth. You get the point. After that, your personality. So your personality will get a totally different section in the report. They will basically tell you your different personality traits and the different traits that the companies want and how good you stand over there. Do you have 90% of this kind of trait? Do you have 50% of this kind of trait? So on and so forth. So they'll give you a detailed report on your personality and what your personality type is. Now this is the most beautiful part of the entire 21-page report, your industry and your job fit. So based on your AMCAT scores, your module feedback and your personality, their system will shortlist a bunch of industries and job fit for you. So what kind of industry do you fit in and what kind of job roles do you fit in? Their system will analyze the entire data and make a nice report for you to see, so that in the future you can understand what kind of industry should you opt for. Now, after that, they do a very sweet thing. They also give you some tips and tricks to improve your employability. They'll give you some strategies to improve your employability. In the sense, suppose your English was really good and your quant was weak, then they'll give you a time frame. Basically, how much of your existing time should you invest on these specific topics? If you're bad at quant, then they will ask you to focus 30 to 40% of your time on quant. And if you're good at English, they'll ask you to focus only 5 to 10% of your time on English. So yeah, these all things will help you do this. They will help you analyze, strategize, and succeed. And you know what that means. I don't need to spell it out for you. Now, employability credentials. This is where we talk about the AMCAT certificate. Okay, now this is a very real AMCAT certificate. Obviously, I've hidden the name and the AMCAT ID. Now, this person wrote the AMCAT test on 5th September 2020. And according to AMCAT and according to the AMCAT systems, this person is suitable for these kind of job roles. Now, if the texts are too small for you, I'll read them out for you, or please try to increase the video quality on your device to 720p or 1080p, whatever is available. So this person is suitable for analytical roles, that is an analyst, and functional roles, that is marketing professional, and in operation roles, this person is suitable for an associate role. Now the question arises, okay, I got this AMCAT certificate. Now what is the use of this AMCAT certificate? Where can I use this? This is where, in LinkedIn. Now obviously I'm assuming that you guys are familiar with LinkedIn. If you are not familiar with LinkedIn, you have to be familiar with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is basically the Facebook for working professionals. On Facebook you connect with different friends and friends of friends and acquaintances and all that. In LinkedIn, you connect with different potential employers and different colleagues of yours. All right. So LinkedIn is a nice bridge between the employers and the employees. You keep on updating your profile over there, whatever you have achieved in career point of view. On Facebook, you upload all the personal stuff. On LinkedIn, you upload everything related to your academics and career growth and certifications and all that. So what happens over there is, obviously every single company is there on LinkedIn, and you can upload this certificate of yours on LinkedIn saying you're an AMCAT certified business analyst. Okay, now suppose as an example, Deloitte is looking for some technical business analysts. So if they don't want to go to any company to hire some people, what they'll do is they'll go to LinkedIn and they will keep this filter on for certified business analysts. And when they keep that filter on, your name will pop up over there. And then they will contact you directly to come in for an interview. That is how it helps in LinkedIn as well. So AMCAT certificates are basically to be shared with your employers. If you have a Naukri.com account or a monsterjob.com account, you can upload that over there as well. It will basically help boost your chances of getting placed and being seen by the different companies. So please make sure you have a LinkedIn account and you're pretty active over there. Make it before getting placed, after getting placed, and even during your job. Make sure you keep uploading your achievements over there. That will help your next employer to make a good persona out of you, make a good image out of you. That is why it's important. So this is how AMCAT helps you get a job or increases your chances of getting a job. Now, like I promised, I will show you the bunch of companies that are partnered with AMCAT. Okay, here we are on Google. So when you Google list of companies via AMCAT, you get these two links on the top. You have the My AMCAT link. Now I would suggest not going to this link over here because this is an old article with the old list of companies. Those companies are still there, but there is an updated list of companies in the second link over here. Okay, that is this website, prepinsta.com. Don't worry, I'll leave the link in the description below. So let's look at all the list of companies over here. You have Entity Data, Arisent, Quicker, Advantage Club, Uber, Byju's. So you'll see some familiar and some unfamiliar faces, names. So you see the list of companies over here, and obviously there are more. Now they have even segregated in terms of industries. You have CSIT industry, you have the electronics and electrical industries, and you even have the civil and mechanical industries. So civil engineering and mechanical engineering students, if you do not get too many opportunities in the college, then obviously AMCAT can be your savior. And below that you get a list of other companies with the package that they are providing. You have 3 LPA, 3.5 lakh per annum, you even have an 18 lakh per annum, then 3, 3.2, 4.5, 5, you even have 7, 6.5 and all that. So you get a list over here. Okay, you can see entity data services, Mindtree, you even have Deloitte here for MBA as well as engineering students. The package that they are providing is 7.5 lakh per annum. It's associate software engineer, and so on and so forth. So you can look at this link in your own time and you can make your own judgment how cool this is. All right, so let's get back to the PPT. Okay, so now that we had a good look on the number of companies, there were a bunch, and here we have reached the end of the video. So I thank you all for sticking up till the end, and all the best for your AMCAT whenever you're writing it, and make sure you're writing it well and make sure you prepare well. And in the next video I will upload all the types of questions that they will ask and all the different topics that they will be asking. So stick around for that as well. Please watch that video as well. Thank you so much. All the very best.